Recording in progress. Hey, legends. Hope you are all doing absolutely amazing. Frazer Brookes here, coming to you from somewhere around the world. It's warm where I am, so yeah, it's super exciting. Hey guys, I'm so fired up. About tonight because I'll talk about it in a minute. But if you are on here right now and you are tuning in, do me a favor, drop a 7 in the chat if you're able to. I would massively appreciate that. And then maybe let me know what city or what country you're tuning in from as well. We actually had over 1,500 people registered for this webinar. So I know a lot of people will be joining us a little bit later. Maybe they're enjoying the sunshine where they are. Maybe they're enjoying the light, having the barbecues and all that fun stuff. So I see a lot of people saying Dubai, Mexico, America, Norway, Oslo, Mexico, Sudan, Netherlands, Hamburg, Norway, UK, Manchester, Vancouver, I love it, Bedford, Zurich, Switzerland, I love it, South Africa, Miami, Knoxville. We've got a lot of Americans on tonight. Pembrokeshire, lovely. Yorkshire, lovely. Vienna, amazing. All right, some great places all over the world. Good to have that international audience. So one of the reasons why we're doing today this kind of webinar, this Zoom call today, is I've been thinking a lot about what the most important thing in network marketing is. What do you think it is in the chat? Just like, what do you think it is? Is it finding people, closing them, following up, presenting, launching people, attending events, building relationships? Like, what do you think? What do you feel is the most important thing? Because to me, if I go from the very end of the process, so let's say someone becomes a top income earner in their company, right? And then I move backwards. I go, right, top income earner. Before that, they need to build a team. Before that, they need to attend an event. Before that, they need to have launched. Before that, they needed to have joined. Before that, they needed to get their questions answered. Before that, they needed to be followed up. Before that, they needed to be closed. Before that, they get the questions answered. Before that, they need to be followed up. Before that, they need to become a lead. They need to be, someone needs to generate a lead. Without generating leads, you fail. If I was to go back 20 years, even 10, 15, 20 years in network marketing, you would used to have to walk the streets with postcards or little flyers trying to get people to, call you. So you go walk the street, you'd have a stack of flyers or stack of postcards, and you would drop them in the letterbox, and you would just sit by the phone hoping that the phone was going to ring, right? Now you could do it all on social media. However, it is a little bit more tricky because would you agree that you deal with a lot of time wasters? Would you agree that we could speak to 100 people, 97 of them might waste our time? I get it. And although with COVID, it's been getting harder, it will get a lot more simple or straightforward because a lot of people will leave the profession when after the COVID bubble kind of bursts. Right. So I want to introduce you to two of my friends. One of them, his name's Ollie, and another one, his name's John. Ollie will introduce John to you. But these guys are going to go through a great presentation to really kind of share with you the new way or the modern way of how they see things being done in the social media space. I'm a massive supporter of it. Ching, I'm going to try and sort my audio out in the meantime. I am in basically an empty apartment with a really hard, look at this, there's like a really hard marble table. So I'm going to have to go get like a carpet and put it on top of it somehow. So yeah, I'm going to fix that out. But anyway, I want to introduce you to my friend Ollie first and foremost. Ollie's such a good guy. You guys know I don't really promote many different people, but Ollie is one of those people who I just absolutely adore and I admire. And he's one of the people who want to help people grow and level up in the network marketing space using different technologies. I've known him for a number of years now, and he's always been like, what do you think about this? What do you think? He's the ideas guy, the concept guy, and he surrounds himself with people who know how to build stuff as well. So he's a great guy. So Ollie, I'm going to pass it over to you whilst I sort this connection out.
Okay, let me just unmute myself, I think.
There you go.
Okay, good. Well, thanks for that introduction. Hi, everyone. I'm Ollie Burgess, as Frazer said. And I'm going to give you a little bit of background as to how I came to meet Frazer. But first of all, I'm going to tell you that John and I have been serving the network marketing profession or the industry for several years now. And we work with the biggest names in the industry, along with everybody else as well. So we provide systems and automations and advertising for some really key people in the industry. But I want to just give you a little bit of background so you get a feel for who I am. I joined marketing in 2016. I was presented with the opportunity and I thought, wow, what a great opportunity. This is something that I need to get involved in. And I got involved in it and I thought, you know what, there's some great people to listen to, there's great things to learn, there's great things to go on to discover. But like Frazer said, I'm an ideas man and I had a couple of ideas and I thought, you know what, this would make the industry better. This would help to serve us all better. This would make our lives easier to do some of the foundation stuff that we need to do. So a couple of years later, I attended one of Frazer's very first generic coaching events in London. And Frazer, bless him, unfortunately had been let down by the venue, and some of the staff that were meant to be there to help with all the 100 people turned for whatever reason. So I said, look, Frazer, you know, I've got a very commanding voice. I'm able to throw it to quite a way because of my old profession. I said, let me sort it out for you. You don't worry about it. So I did. And as a result, I missed half of the event, which was unfortunate, but everyone enjoyed it, had a great time. And as a result, I formed a friendship, a bond with Frazer that has stood the test of time. It's been, you know, it's been absolutely fabulous. And I totally believe in the universe. And this is a universe thing that happened. You know, we formed this bond. Well, whilst I was working in the network marketing industry, I also had a second job, and I was working in a charity. And whilst I was in this charity, I was still thinking of my ideas for network marketing. But whilst I was in the charity, I started to see that the chief boss guy that was doing amazing things with advertising and amazing things with funnels and automation. And I thought, I need to speak to this guy because this is the exact sort of thing that I was thinking about that would be great for the network marketing industry. So that guy was John Preston, my business partner, my friend that I'm going to introduce you to later. And I said, look, this is what I want to do. Can we do it? And he said, yeah, of course, you know, that's great. We can do it. Let's set something up together and let's do this. So we set up our company then. And of course, I thought immediately, I need to go and speak to Frazer about this guy. I need to show Frazer what this guy is capable of and the ideas that I've got and how it can implement and help people in network marketing. Well, if you know Frazer as much as I do, he is one hell of a busy guy. And to get hold of him is a blooming nightmare. The follow-ups, absolutely. And it's the same with Frazer. So I was on at him every couple of weeks. You know, I wasn't a pain in the neck, but every couple of weeks, I was, Frazer, you need to have a chat with John. Frazer, you need to have a chat with John. Finally, Frazer gave in and said, all right, Ollie, let's meet up with John. And the rest is history, because Frazer was blown away by the systems and what John can do with his knowledge and his expertise. John was one of the first 3 people in the whole world to be accredited as a ManyChat expert, which is an automation thing. He's a partner with Facebook as an advertising expert. So he's super skilled at what he does and what we're bringing to the table. So I said to John, look, what I need to do is to make sure that some keystones, some foundations are in place with what we bring to network marketers. I need to make sure that the system is audible, that anybody and everybody, not just the top people, but everybody that has ideas of wanting to grow can afford to use the system. I need to make sure that it's super easy to use that anyone, from new people coming into your team to old people that, you know, are not great with technology, anybody can use it. And I need to make sure that it's duplicatable. These are key stones that we all know. It must be duplicatable to other people to be able to use. So he said, yeah, all right, fine, you know, I can do that. So we're talking about advertising here. Why? What is the need to advertise? Well, all day long, you know that your warm market is always going to be easier to speak to than your cold market. So you will exhaust your warm market. You'll go through that, and many of you probably have done already. And so you need to be able to continue to have a regular flow of people filling up your pipeline to be able to speak to them. So that is why you might advertise. But let me ask you this: who has advertised themselves? Put a number 2 in the comments if you have yourself without help, without professional assistance, you've advertised yourself. Okay, so there's a fair few of you. Now let me ask you this: how many of you have lost money on advertising because you don't know what you're doing? Put a number 3 in the comments. So yeah, look guys, you are not alone. I have as well. You know, I don't know what I'm doing. That's why I rely on John. And how many of you have had your ad account shut down because you've fallen foul of rules and regulations you just don't have them to, and you don't understand? Let's have a 4 for that. Yeah, you know, lots of people have, and sometimes it's not through a fault of their own. It's just because they don't have the time to understand all of that sort of thing. Who has, when they've advertised for themselves, who has pressed what I like to call the hit and hope button, which is the boost button? You know, you're just wasting money. Who's done that? Number 5 in the box, if you have done that. Yeah, so we're all guilty. And look, you know, I'm not blaming you. We are all guilty of not knowing what to do. And the list goes on and on and on. But this is where we are here to help you guys. So we have developed something that I'm not going to steal John's thunder. He's going to tell you all about it. But the point is that through this system, that is all of the things that I mentioned beforehand, you are going to be able to have more qualified, quality cold leads coming in your pipeline. You're going to have conversations with. You're going to be able to gain experience from having those conversations, build your relationships, and acquire more prospects and potentially more customers as well. So I'm going to pass you over to one of my closest friends, John Preston. As I say, he's an absolute expert in what he does. Lots of people rely on his expertise, as do I. He's going to take you through what is working now and the exact formula for you to succeed. So I'm going to pass over to John Preston. Thanks very much, guys. I'll speak to you later.
Thanks, Ollie. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. Nice to see so many familiar faces in the audience. Also, this is the first time I've come on one of these presentations with Frazer, where he's not just ripped me from being from Manchester. So maybe saving it to London, who's still rated to share some of this stuff with you tonight. There's going to be absolutely no fluff. I'm going to show you exactly what is working right now that you should be able to come off this webinar and go and set up successful adverts with really top quality leads. And I'm going to show you step by step exactly what we do day in, day out with clients and get amazing results for them. Okay, but before I show you how we're doing it, I just want to talk for a minute about what actually makes a campaign successful. So this all comes down to, and we have this conversation quite a lot with clients, is a cheap lead a good lead? So for example, you know, if I have one lead and it costs $200, I'm up. I've got leads at $1 and every single one of them ignore me. It's not always a case that really, really cheap leads are excellent. And it's important for you, before you start advertising, to understand, what am I willing to spend to sign somebody up? What's that worth to me? So think about this as well. It looks like I'm in a sauna. Yeah, it does. And it is like that actually sometimes. So let's say, again, using this number, it's cost me $200 in advertising before I signed up one person. But when I sign them up, I get, from that initial signing on, $190 back. So have I lost money on that campaign? So it's a yes or no in the chat now, please. Have I lost money on that campaign? So we're getting no's, getting some yeses. Right. About on that front end. Now, before you start advertising, just do a little exercise. And let's say you've taken on 10 people in the last year that have joined your team. I want you to work out what those 10 people have earned you every single month from signing on, and then every month what that's been worth. And then divide that number by 10. And that's going to be your annual revenue for taking on one person. So if that person I've signed on for $200 has actually earned me $1,000, I'm actually $800 in profit with that. That's a massive return on investment. So that's one exercise to just go away and do. Yeah, it's way more. Go and do that exercise, and then you can understand, actually, to get a top quality lead, I am willing to spend X amount of money. All right. Now I'm throwing big numbers around there, like $200. And before I show you what expect from a campaign. Now I'm going to show you real leads that we've got from 3 recent campaigns. Now I've put them onto a spreadsheet because some of the data I can't share with you, like phone numbers and emails and surnames and stuff like that. But it should be just interesting for you to see what I would expect when I'm running a campaign for somebody. So those $200 sort of to sign someone up might seem expensive, but have a look at this. And you'll see the difference on here as well. So hopefully you can see this spreadsheet over here now. And this is a male audience in the United States. And you'll see here that we've used something called lead forms for this. And again, I'll show you very quickly where to set those up, because that's going to be part of the process. On that form, we ask people what it is that they're trying to achieve, because there's nobody out there thinking, oh, I want to sells makeup, or I want to sell a vitamin company, or whatever it happens to be. They're in a current situation and they want to change, and it's your job to find out what that is. So we give them a kind of multiple choice and what it is that they're trying to achieve. So when you get on a call with them, amazing, I know what you're here for. I've got a vehicle that can solve that. So we can see here that Matthew wants to have a plan B, independent insurance broker. I ask for occupation because that's a really good judge of the quality of leads. If I want people who are they're in good jobs, they're in management, I know that I'm sort of hitting the right target. So I've got people in the military, electricians, people in sales and marketing, wants help with bills. So you can see that's really good quality. Now I was throwing numbers around like $200 to sign someone up, but we're getting those $2 on. And I consistently see this in the United States. The US leads are pretty cheap. Now this is a different one. This is female leads. This was a female campaign just in the US. And again, we've got Amy, wants to travel more, mortgage loan officer, we've got business development manager, help with family, admin assistant, wants help with bills, school psychologist. You know, these are professional people. And cost per lead there in the US, $4.52 per lead. So really top quality leads, and also proof that women are more expensive than men. In the UK, have a plan B. Annette, who's in human resources, teachers, executive assistants and PR officers, occupational health managers, teachers, loads of leads. So these are still really cheap leads, but they're good quality. And I'm going to show you how we go about getting those leads. Now, the exact formula, and I'm keeping it really, really super simple. So like I say, after this, you'll be able to go and do it yourself. Now, the first thing I'll say is I just talked about we use lead forms. Now, a lead form, you'll need to go to your Facebook page and set this up. So if we go to the Facebook page here and you click on this Meta Business Suite, so if you go into your settings, you'll see this here. It's quite a new one. Facebook like to move stuff and change stuff and not tell you. But go to your Meta Business Suite and then you'll see this. And go to All Tools and Instant Forms down there and then create your form. And you put in your first name, last name, phone numbers, emails, any questions that you want to ask on that. All pretty straightforward stuff. Okay. Let's have a look at setting up the ad itself. So once you've gone and set up your lead form, you'll need to do that before you're advertising. I'm not going to go through an ads manager because I don't want to overcomplicate this. I want to keep it really simple. So you'll just go into ads manager. If you don't have that already, go to business.facebook.com and just set up your business manager and ad accounts there. There is like a million YouTube tutorials of how to go and do that. It's pretty straightforward. So let's now go and have a look at how we set up the campaign. So I'm going to share my screen again. Okay. So the campaign itself, when you first get into this, campaigns are set up in 3 levels. And this is at the campaign level. So this is me saying to Facebook, here is what I want you to, this is the result I want. And you can see that we've also burners, catalogs. Now the issue with a lot of those is they need quite complex tracking, especially if you're looking at traffic or conversions. Now we are going to use something which totally stays within Facebook. So the reporting on it is 100% accurate. And you're going to go for, surprise, surprise, lead generation. So you'll just select that and then hit continue. Okay? Everyone got that? So lead generation at campaign level. Next thing is the audience. Now the audience is a little bit more tricky to get right. This is where you'll spend some time and you can test different things. But when you go in there, and this is called the ad set, so this is like in the middle. And here we're going to talk about, you can set how much you want to spend, and you can set your location, so you can see this is women in the United States. In fact, think about that spreadsheet I've just shown you. This is how you for those results. So you could actually go to Facebook now and say the location is United States, age is 40 to 50, gender women, and interests. I put, because this was like a trading business, a trading network marketing company, we put Robert Kiyosaki or Warren Buffett, so an interest in investing and trading, but then said that they must also match, and this is just on the interests, go and play around with it, that they want to like, that they should also like of that network marketing pro Eric Worre or entrepreneurship. And you'll see there that the estimated audience size is 13.6 million to 16 million people. US audiences will be big because there's a lot of people there. For me, I would want to narrow it down a little bit more once we've finished with the broad thing. Here's one. Now, this is actually a little bit further down the campaign because I'm now using lookalikes. So I can go into Facebook Ads Manager and say, find me people who've done, who've submitted a lead form. Find me people who look like that rather than guessing at interest, but that's a little bit down the line. We want stick with your interest-based and location-based audiences when you're just setting up. For this one, we had location living in Spain, age 25 to 55, and women again. Language, English. So we didn't want native Spanish speakers because it was an English-speaking team. Now look at the audience size. 152,000 to just under 179,000. Now these leads were great quality still, but they were more expensive because although that seems like a lot of people, it's a small audience and you'll burn through it really, really quickly. So the same people starting the reach would be between 1 and 2 million people for a US or European audience. So that's where I would want to start off. So play around with your targeting until you hit that kind of 1 to 2 million mark. Okay? So let's now move on to add copy. And make sure you take a note of this one because I'm going to show you pretty much the exact wording we use and why it works. This is compliant, so you won't get banned from Facebook. It should go through. So this is your copy formula, and I've got a kind of full example of it in this next one. We are interested in, and then you're going to say, you're going to call out who it is. Now Facebook adverts, when you first see this on your phone, you'll only see the top 3 lines of it. So I want that to read exactly who I want. And then I ready to direction, much more security and flexibility. You'll also benefit from being a friendly and successful team with world-class support and mentoring. And then underneath that, please click on the Learn More button below. That's what I want you to do. No ambiguity whatsoever. So an example of that could be, we are searching for people who have experience in health and beauty sales, running a business, managing or having their own business. Apply that to who you are looking for. Think about the people in your team. Which of those people would you love another 10 of? Speak to that person. Okay? So that's really simple, isn't it? There's nothing complicated about that. You don't need to overthink it. Now the next element of this is the image. And here's something crazy. We've tested images. We test 5 images to that audience. So exactly the same audience, exactly the same budget, exactly the same lead form, but the image is different. So if I put this out there just to a male and female audience, I'm going to attract people like me. So if I'm putting an advert out and I want to actually attract 30-year-old females, a picture of me isn't going to do it. In many ways, it's never going to do it. Put a picture of the person, that's similar, that they can identify with. So if you've got somebody in your team that you want kind of 30-year-old women, find 30-year-old women for the adverts. And that works with... we've just seen it over and over again that we've run the same advert with a young family in an advert, and the young family image attracted people with young families. The one with a lady in her 50s attracted ladies in the 50s. So your image will bring in people similar to that in the image that they identify with. So really, really straightforward. And again, play around with it. Okay, so let's just recap really, really quickly. Do you see how simple that is? That once you've set your lead form up, select lead generation, select your audience, try and get between 1 and 2 million people. Set your budget. You don't need to go crazy with it, especially when you're just testing. Get your copy together, call it out. Just who is it you want? And then the image, really important, do not use stock images. Get people to authenticity. You put a stock image on there, it's not authentic, people see right through it, and your leads will cost you double. So you just use authentic images. It doesn't need to be perfect. Okay, so that's how to set up the adverts. Now, soon I'm going to show you how we duplicate this for entire teams, but there's a big step in the middle which we're missing here, and it's just so important. It's equally as important as the advert itself. So I'm just going to try and stop sharing. Yeah, so the next part is, now I've got a lead, what am I going to do with them? How do I get that lead, that person, into a conversation? Now, we've seen in our time some absolutely shocking stuff. Copy and paste straight into a sales pitch. That's not how it works. Fortunately, we've got with us one of the world's top experts in how to turn a new contact into a team member. So I'm going to bring Frazer back on, who's going to tell you exactly what to do with these awesome leads that you've just gone and got for yourself.
Yeah, so hey mate, thanks so much for that. It's and by the way, guys, just to let you know, my connection is not that amazing. So if it kind of cuts out from time to time, I don't mean it on purpose. I'm not doing it like on purpose. I'm not pattern interrupting or anything like that. So I think what's really important is, I think the most important thing that I want to talk about today is that, and hey everyone, I see you guys all in the chat here, is that and I see Elizabeth's cat as well, who's just graced our screens. There we go. So I am seeing you guys. I am looking at your wonderful faces. So I think for me, it's a lot of people think logically when you need to get them thinking emotionally, right? So most people kind of go, oh, this sounds good. This looks good. That information's great. That company name looks cool and that product name looks great. But how are you going to get them thinking emotionally about the business? So what are the questions that you can ask in the messenger? Like, so let's say you've used an ad, someone says, I'm interested, I want more information. Number one is you have to respond to them as fast as you can. Otherwise, they will forget how they've even contacted you in the first place. So if someone responds to an ad and you're not messaging them within an hour, then chances are the chances of that person taking you seriously is going to be massively reduced. So now you can see like how that's going to be a problem, right? But I'm sure John and Ollie can talk about different ways how you can kind of automate that process as well. But one thing I might ask, if someone says to me, hey, yes, I want more information, I might want to get some more information about them. So what is it that got your attention? What is it that's piqued your interest? What is it in particular that you want to know? What is it that you need more of? If I had a magic wand and I could give you one wish to make your life better, what would it be? Because the chance of them joining in the message, like, it's very rare that it's going to be, hey, Frazer, hey, Samantha, how you doing? Really good. How are you? Really cool. Thanks. Hey, do you want to look at my business? Yeah, sure. Here's the link. Wow, that was amazing. Do you want to join? Yeah, I would love to join. Hey, can you send me the link? Yeah, here's the link to join. Like, when has that ever happened? When have you ever had a conversation with someone and they just join there and there? It doesn't happen. People like to think about it. People like to talk to their partner about it. People like to sleep on it. Oh my day. I don't know about you guys, but I've never slept on something. I don't write it on a piece of paper, put it under the pillow, and then be like, right, and then wake up in the morning and then lift my pillow up, take the piece of paper. I've slept on it. The answer is there. It's amazing. Like, it doesn't work that way, does it? Doesn't work that way. I really wish it did. Like, you'd be the modern day tooth fairy. Like, you're sleeping in and sneaking under people's pillows and putting a note saying, you should definitely join. But it's because most people don't join because they need 80% of the decision has to be emotional. 80% of the decision has to be emotional. So what are you seeding? What are the questions that you could ask about your business or your product? In this example, it's most likely business. What are the questions that you can ask to do with the business that's going to get people to think, I need to do this. If I don't do this, I'm never going to get this. If I don't do this, my life is going to suck. Okay? So the questions that I would ask is, number one, what made you fill in the form, right? What made you fill in the form? Where are you at right now? Where are you at right now? You need to create the gap, right? Creating a gap, establishing a gap makes people think emotionally. Okay, so where are you at right now, and where do you want to get to? So what's your monthly income right now, if you don't mind me asking, right? And where do you want to get to? They're never going to go the other way. Oh, I'm making €2,000 a month, and I really want to make 1,000. Like, no one ever says that. I really imagine that. Like, I would love to go backwards in life. Okay, so I'm making €2,000 a month, and I really want to get to 5,000 euros a month. Obvious next question. What would be, do you mind me asking, what are your current options? Like, what are your current options to go from 2,000 to 5,000? Well, I'm just kind of looking around. And when you get to 5,000, how will life look like? And now you might be thinking these are quite deep questions. They're very simple questions. And you don't even need the answer from them, because what they do, the majority of people, they will go away, they will speak to their husband or their partner, and they won't think, oh, there's this network marketing company in the health and wellness space. They won't be talking about that. That's what most people are doing, and that's what most people are leading with. Oh, it's a network marketing company in the health and wellness space, and you can make an extra €5,000 a month by selling some shakes and potions and lotions, Instead, they're going to their partner around the dinner table with their kids and say, what would life be like if we had an extra few $1,000s a month, or an extra few €1,000 a month? Like, if you could go on a holiday every month, where would you go? Right? Patrick says we have a set of 8 questions. Amazing. Patrick, what are some of the questions that you've got in your 8? So how can you create the conversation to bring it emotionally plus logically? Example, I used to sell houses. Okay, not exactly true. I used to work in a place that sold houses, right? If you've ever bought a house before, give me a 7 in the chat. And you would go to an estate agent or a real estate agent, and you would request that you would go in and you would do the logical stuff. Okay, so you would go, I want a 4-bedroom house with a garage, a back garden, an ensuite, and a big kitchen. So that's your criteria. Oh, and it needs to be in between €200,000 and €300,000, or a maximum budget of €300,000. That's the logical start. Now, if the estate agent comes to you and says, here is the exact house that you've requested, do you buy it? Nope. Have you ever bought a house? I mean, some people might have said they've bought a house before actually seeing it, because maybe it was an investment. But chances are, you drive to the house, you check out the neighborhood, you like the neighborhood, you meet the person with the keys, maybe it's empty or maybe it's full, who knows? You open the door, 5 seconds later you're in the house, and you're like, wow. Because you can imagine what life is going to be like when you're living in the house. That is an emotional connection. And that is when the woman goes to the man, this is the one. And the man just kind of goes, yeah, is it? Okay, yeah, if you're happy, yeah. Yeah, then fine. That's okay, yeah. All right. I don't like it, but you do, so I better not say no. All right, I'm kidding. You guys know what I'm talking about, though, right? You women out there, you guys own the world. You really do. Who run the world? Girls, right? There we go. That's all the singing I'm going to be doing tonight. Okay, so people buy from emotion. They think about the logic. That kind of starts the conversation. Ooh, nice ad. I like the look of that. Might as well just fill in the form. They're not emotionally going, I'm going to fill it. Like some people might, but the majority aren't going, oh, I'm going to fill in the form. This is going to change my life. They're thinking, okay, whatever. So what are the things that you can do to take it from logical to emotional? Now, there are loads of different scripts. I mentioned a few of them. If you can establish the gap, you're going to win. If you can, and this is why leaders are seeders, right? We're talking about like leads for leaders, right? So leaders are seeders. They plant a seed and they nurture it and nurture it. And they understand that most people aren't going to join at the first exposure or the second exposure or the third exposure. Maybe even not the fifth exposure. Maybe the 10th exposure. But here's the question I'm going to ask you all. Honestly, if your life depended on it, on the answer being truthful, so you had to answer this truthfully, how many of you have honestly followed up with all of your prospects more than 5 times? Every single one, more than 5 times. I don't think there's going to be many, if not any of you guys. I really, really don't. So generating a lead, amazing. You can automate that process. Yes, it might cost you a bit of money to do that, but when you've got the process in place, it's worthwhile. Can you automate going from logic to emotion? Yes, but almost no one's doing it. But can you automate the follow-up? Pretty much, yes, but no one's really doing it. So I want to pass you back on to John to share some more information with you guys. I hope there's just one thing in there that makes you go, oh, okay, I like the idea of that. I want to give that a go. I want to give that a try. And yeah, I'll be back on at the end, I believe, to wrap things up. All right, John, pass it over to you. There's a lot of back and forward here. It's like Zoom. It's like Zoom ping pong.
It's tag team. Thanks, mate. Yeah, awesome as ever. So yeah, you see, it's not about going in for a hard sell. It's questions. It's always about questions and letting them tell you why they want to do this. Okay, just a couple of bits that have come up in the questions that I've seen so far is a question about pixels. Just remember I said that we're using lead forms, and the reason it works so well is because it all stays within Facebook. You don't need to worry about pixels or tracking or it's pretty straightforward. So I want to show you just behind the scenes. Frazer sort of mentioned about automation. Now, if you're a leader, if you've got a team and you want them all to be, successful, or there's a lot of them in a place that could really do with a really steady stream of leads, how would you go about making that accessible for everybody? And that's probably a tricky bit. You could run adverts and maybe stick them onto a Google sheet and give people leads. But let me show you how we do it. Okay. Now, obviously, this is all we do. So I'm going to share with you what our team system looks like. So hopefully you can see this all right. So this here is, if you can see that, there's our Facebook lead ad. Everything that we've gone through before. Go to your page, create your lead ad, select in campaigns, lead generation, work your audience out, 1 to 2 million, and then use the copy formula, stick an image of yourself being happy. Away you go. What's the benefit of having an additional income? Remember those responses? Having a plan B or wanting to travel, all that sort of thing. And please, could you tell us what you want to do for a living, or what you do for a living? Contact information, first name, last name, phone number and email. Always get a phone number. Emails can be ignored. What happens with the advert then is the moment they submit a lead form, I add them to a custom audience. So I make an audience of people who've submitted the form. I add that to a lookalike audience. So a lookalike audience is me saying to Facebook, find me people who look like this audience, audience A. So the audience that I'm sending my ad to is B minus A. So I'm not showing it to people that I've seen it before. What that means is the advert is just smart. Okay. Sounds a bit complicated. I'm just showing you what we do for a system. Now, the moment the form is submitted, we then have what's called a rotator. So if there's 10 of us who are all putting money into an ad campaign. Then one lead comes in and it goes to the first person, and then the second lead comes in, goes to the second person, third lead, third person, and so on and so on. And it just keeps them going around in that circle, so the leads are allocated. Now, Frazer said, oh, you know, you get a lead come in, and then maybe in an hour's time you'll get back to them. There is a window, the magic window of the optimal time for a lead to be contacted after they've shown interest. They're out there looking for something which is going to change their life. They're looking for that side, you know, that side hustle, or, you know, something they can do from home, something to change their life. It's not for you. They're looking for change, and they're out shopping for it. So the sooner you get to them, the better. Now, that magic window, Frazer talked about an hour. It's 5 minutes. 5 minutes. So what we do is we send an SMS, local number, to that lead immediately. So straight away they've hit send. Whoever's drawing all over the screen, either draw something interesting or stop. So the SMS comes in. That goes to a landing page which has got we've got a sizzle video, a short video, just giving some information on the business opportunity, giving the sort of highlights, and then a button here which takes them through to booking a call. So even though you might not be able to get to somebody straight away, it immediately gives them somewhere to go and something to do. Are then sent to, we've sort of built a web app portal for everyone. So if I get a lead that comes in, I get an email notification that that I've got a new lead, and I can go and see every single one of these responses here. The business owner is notified, so that's the email I get, and then you begin that building process that Frazer's just talked about. We start that relationship building, and you either convert them to a customer or a partner. And so that's how we do it. So we've got that same lead ad that I've just showed you, but we make sure it's always learning, always getting smarter. As we can see there, we're responding immediately on your behalf. And we can also add a drip email sequence in there. We create a landing page, and it's specific to whoever's lead it is. So it's really, really the moment you can get in to start that relationship building process with that person. Now, this is a team system, and we're going to do something quite special tonight. We are looking for people for leaders. So this webinar is Lead for Leaders. We are looking for people with teams who want to be first to market with your own team ads system. All right? We can't do this for everybody. You've got to be in the right place to do this. So if you've just started off and there's only you and two others and you want to try some adverts, go and try and set up the adverts from what I've just shown you. But if you are in a position where, do you know what, we want to do this for the entire team, I'm going to invite you to come and have a chat with us about doing something like this for you. Again, it's the whole system that I've just shown you there. Sorry, here. The Patience is drawing on. I'm going to drop this. Ollie might be dropping this link in the chat now, actually. So if you do have a team and you think this is interesting, it's not free, but as somebody messaged me, I just spent 30 grand on an ads course with somebody. It is not even close to that. You could have your own system set up and me running adverts for your entire team. Or if you think it's you and perhaps your upline could be interested in, get your call booked in with us. I'm going to send this out in an email later. It's there in the chat. But you could potentially have us running a full automated team lead generation system for you. Okay. I'm going to stop sharing now. Okay, so that's everything from us tonight. We've actually managed to keep it to under an hour, so quite impressed with that. Yeah, SMS tip. It's really, really important, that 5-minute window. This is why we added things in. We've been doing this for several years, and we've kind of learned the mistakes that you can make. We've learned how people respond to adverts, which is why we've constantly developed this and built the system, made it bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And this is the latest culmination of all of our efforts over these years. You've seen the sort of results we can get, and it's just really automating that process, if that's something that would be relevant for you and your team. So the link is there in the chat now. Ollie's dropped it in. I will send it out later on, probably with a replay. So yeah, that's it for me. Thank you so much for joining us.
Mate, John, thank you so much. And again, guys, like, this is going to take John and the team a lot of time from their perspective to kind of take calls and stuff, but they're doing it because they really want to help you guys. Here's what I would say for those of you who don't have a team. I would look to build organically. Invest some of the commissions that you make from sales and you know, your maybe first order bonus or your first commission. Just take a percentage of that and think, right, that's going towards my marketing budget, marketing campaign, so that you're able to do some of the stuff that John has quite kindly shared with his time tonight. And then eventually, when you have the team, when the team is building, then absolutely amazing, absolutely incredible. You could probably go ahead with this. It is obviously a benefit of having first movers advantage. So for those of you who do have a team of 20 plus, I would get a call booked in, even just so you know what you're saying no to. Even so you know what you're saying no to, because the system's really, really cool. All right. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know for those of you who weren't able to get on because you weren't sent the link, you will be getting the recording in your inbox real soon. And yeah, hope to see you all somewhere around the world real soon. All right, guys, have a great rest of your evening, your day, your morning, whatever it is, and see you next time. All right, ciao. Bye-bye.